What's up, you guys? Stoopzz back in with another video, and I wanted to make this video for a couple days now. I've been getting this question a lot throughout all of my recent videos in the comment section. You guys want to know what my thoughts are regarding Battle for Azeroth, the potential or lack thereof PvP changes, what's going to be happening. They didn't announce anything. They didn't announce solo queue. Are you disappointed? And I wanted to make this video a little bit different than I normally do. I didn't want to do any of the crazy edits or cut edits or jump cuts or any like little graphics going on here. I just want to speak to you guys regarding my thoughts, how I feel about everything, and just kind of have more of like a heart-to-heart conversation. I know many of you guys are worried. I know some PvE fanatics don't really care. They're happy about this. Overall, if you did watch or you did go to Blizzcon, you saw the trailer and you saw the presentation, the expansion does look really PvP based, but they didn't really announce anything. Now, there are some things that I think that they did announce that are going to aid, I think, PvP going into the next expansion. There's a lot of small nuances that people seem to ignore, and many people are wondering, were you disappointed? And when I watched the trailer, of course, I was really hyped. It made me really excited to be part of the Horde or the Alliance, but I'm not down with the Anduin. I like Sylvanas. I liked how the Horde is portrayed in that trailer, so I want to be part of the Horde next expansion. I love the Zandalari trolls, and for me that was really exciting. But when they did go into, you know, kind of like the walkthrough where they go over all of the features, they didn't announce anything really for PvP other than a couple BGs, 2 new arenas, and there's some other features that I'll get into later in this video that I think will be really big. But they didn't announce solo queue. They didn't announce well, down the road they did announce gear vendors, which is great, you guys. That's something that I've been wanting for a long time. This entire expansion is gear vendors, and they are bringing those back. They did talk about like kind of changing the stat templates, which is also something that I've been advocating for, which I think will make a big impact in our community. But they didn't announce again solo queue or just different PvP modes, 6v6 RBGs. But I want everyone to understand, number one, it was such a short little presentation. They don't have time to go over all of those things. I mean, they're not going to go, hey, by the way, we're announcing 6v6 RBGs, or we're announcing solo queue right there. It takes a lot of time to come up with that. We were just advocating for that like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. Maybe they won't, you know, implement it at all this expansion. I did see that interview with Asmongold, and I really appreciate that he did ask that question. I thought it was great that he brought it up, and they said kind of no, but it doesn't mean that they won't do it down the road. And again, I want you guys to understand, they're not going to go into specifics like that. They're gonna announce things that are going to appeal to the general public. They're going to announce, hey, we have new BGs, new arenas, we're fixing world PvP, which is something that is absolutely huge, and I think people neglect that. I want you guys to understand that when I made those videos, I did them in my mind thinking that I'm going to ask for everything that I think will help you guys, not me personally, but will help you guys have a more enjoyable experience when PvPing. Those things that I suggested were like in an ideal world, the perfect world. The perfect World of Warcraft for me would be all of those things regarding PvP being implemented. So I knew when I made that video, not everything's gonna get implemented. I'm asking for a wish list. It's like Christmas morning, and I want Santa to give me all of my gifts, and I was hoping for a couple. I think that people don't understand that when you look at like PvP participation, if you look back at vanilla, right? Vanilla WoW, the theme of vanilla was Horde vs Alliance, and then bosses came after. Now, of course, it was PvE based, but there's a lot of world PvP, a lot of PvP movies, and all about getting better gear so you could poon noobs, because you wanted to kill the enemy faction. And those players transitioned into BC, and then they introduced arenas, right? So like now I've been world PvPing for so long, now I can do competitive PvP. That's huge. Competitive PvP is like a whole new world to me. And then those same players, for the most part, also went to Wrath and maybe Kata, and then most of them started to fall off as the game started to change. And then you get new audiences that come in. So the initial PvP crowd that had the theme of Horde vs Alliance, killing other players, that's what World of Warcraft really is. It's World of Warcraft. My camera shook there. But I want you guys to also understand that as time goes on, new audiences come into the game. So if new audiences came into Kata, Mop, WoD, they're not the same people that were playing during BC, Vanilla, Wrath. They're not as passionate about PvP. They're playing for raiding, progression. They don't really know anything about PvP, and the skill difference there is huge because they have to relearn the entire game. They're not going to hop into competitive PvP when they haven't spent that much time even learning the game in the first place. And I will say that, you guys, when I go into Battlegrounds now, I can just tell immediately. I'll do Battlegrounds here or there for some B-roll footage, or if I'm doing it to play with my subscribers or just my friends for just fun. the skill level has gotten exponentially worse, especially in this expansion. I see so many players backpedaling, standing still, they're not moving, and movement is a big sign to me that somebody doesn't know how to play the game. The way they move is a big telling sign that they're still really new at PvP. And I'm going to make a video on movement later, so if you're interested in learning about moving better, being more efficient with your movements, you can check out that video when it comes out. But I can see that over time, and that just shows me that either a lot of new players are playing World of Warcraft, and this is something that the devs talked about a while ago, that you'd be surprised how many new people are coming into the game as people leave. It's always just new people coming into the game all the time. Those players that are playing Legion, they haven't been practicing competitive PvP, they just don't really care, they just do BGs. It's not the same players that were from vanilla BC and Wrath who were all about world PvP, which transitioned into competitive PvP. Now with this new expansion, and this is what I'm talking about, nuances, it's the idea of horde versus alliance, faction versus faction. That is what gets players like excited about killing other players. If you're on the horde, which I'm excited to be part of, you want to go kill alliance. That trailer got everyone really excited. So I think this transition going into outside of this like weird, like, for me, I'm not very interested in it, this lore that seems really just murky and gross. It's not as exciting to me as BC was or even Wrath was. I'm not very excited about Legion lore, and I don't really care about the old gods. It's just not exciting for me. I'm not trying to offend anybody, and if you like that kind of stuff, that's why they have it in the game, and I'm really excited for you guys to hopefully get your fix when it comes to PvE, either this expansion coming up or the next one. But I want people to understand that having this new theme for PvP is going to entice people to try out more PvP, right? And they have fixed a lot of things which I think are really fundamental. World PvP is the best training ground for most players because they experience it on a daily when they're doing their world quests to learn how to PvP, and that's how vanilla started. People were doing all these world quests, or they're doing their quests, they're trying to get reputation, they're trying to farm their honor, and they were consistently killing other players, and that enticed people when they went to BC to test out their skill in competitive PvP. So the more people that are willing to do world PvP or compete in competitive PvP because they have experience in world PvP or just PvP situations, it's a lot of PvP, the more likely they are to sign up on the LFG system or participate in any ranked PvP, right? Because now they have a lot of experience, they want to try it out, just like in vanilla and BC. I expect the same for this next expansion. And what they have done is they have implemented a lot of new modes, like that one island adventure mode where you get 2 other friends and you're trying to assassinate other players. For me, that sounded way more amazing than any arena that I could possibly do. I'm just tired of arena. I don't mind doing it. I'll still do it. I love to do it. It's my favorite thing to do in World of Warcraft, but it gets really boring. I've done it for years, you guys. I've done the same mode of fighting other players for years, and it's not like Counter-Strike because that's all the game is about. World of Warcraft is about so many other things, so I'm stuck to this little game mode, this one little mode in a giant massive game that I only participate in, and I don't do anything else. So it does get kind of boring after a while. And that island mode where you get like there's other things involved, they're trying to find players, seek them out and kill them, that sounds way more exciting. And the more modes they have like that, the more, and I'll give credit to Hogman, I'll give it to him. I like what he said in his most recent video. He was talking about he wants to see world PvP have actual rewards, like when it competes with world quests. If you kill another player, it's worth your time. It's something that you're seeking to do, and I love that idea. The more things they do like that, those small nuances, that's going to attract players to consider doing competitive PvP because they want to test out their skill, their gear, which will be effective with the stat squish. This whole stat changing system where they've changed all of these stats, this big number crunch, you guys. I mean, I'm telling you, when I went to Blizzcon, I was 110, my item level was 180, and the biggest crit I saw my Shadow Priest was like 6k or something like that, and that was with void form on a Shadow Crash with all dots applied. The numbers are going to be smaller. Hopefully the HP scale is much larger, and you're not going into this Legion thing where you log on a Windwalker and you're level 103 or whatever, and you one-shot people with Strike of the Windlord, which was what I was doing, and that's not fun for anybody. So they're doing a lot of fundamental changes which might make the gameplay experience a lot more fun. Am I over the idea of solo queue? Hell no. I still think it's something that you guys need. I mean, I want it, but I think it's way more important for the majority of players. But the reason you guys can't also find partners, which is half the issue, is because nobody really wants to compete in competitive PvP. It's too hard. They haven't grasped the game. It's not part of the game. You don't have to PvP, but in this next expansion, you are, you know, incentivized to PvP. You're incentivized to go out there and fight other players, to get better rewards, to get better experience. And the more they put effort into that, the more they spend time doing that, I should say, the more likely you are going to see people queuing up in LFG, participating in PvP, and I'm really excited for that. So that's my response to the whole situation. I don't want you guys to get discouraged. They're not going to announce all the specifics just yet. If you're upset about class changes, you know, they announced gear vendors, which is huge news. How is the template, you know, issue going to be? Are we going to have PvP templates again? Honor talents. They didn't really go into detail about anything yet. It's a far ways away. So don't get upset about anything. Just go out and advocate for what you want in a peaceful manner. I make videos for entertainment, but don't leave it up to me. Don't leave me to be the only one fighting for what you guys want. I also want to take this time, my hair looks crazy right now, I just got out of the shower. I also want to take this time to thank all of you. You guys, again, have made such a massive impact in my life, like I said earlier, but I'm never going to stop thanking you guys. I'm never going to stop taking the time to appreciate you guys. I'm never going to be ungrateful for whatever I receive from you, or just the attention, the thumbs up, the subscribes, the comments. I appreciate all of that. And I recently had somebody that came into my podcast and said, Stoopzz, can you stop wasting 10 minutes or 5 minutes of your podcast thanking people or thanking your subscribers and saying you appreciate them? Can you just save it till the end? And I said no. And then he ended up responding, well, unsubscribed. And I said later, because I'm never gonna stop doing that. I've been through a ton, and I want you guys to understand that you guys have such a big impact on me in my life, more so than anything that I've ever gone through or experienced, or people that I've had in my life. You guys are like my friends. Everything that you guys say to me, I always read. Whether I respond or not, I always read them. I'm always reading your comments and just taking them all in and taking back the feedback. Whether I agree with it or not, I always soak in the feedback and make sure that I can see if I can try to implement some of that. So I'm never going to stop thanking you guys. I'm never going to stop being over appreciative. I'm never going to stop taking the time to realize what you guys do for me. It's a two-way relationship. My viewers and the content I provide is just like a two-way relationship. My content wouldn't be there without each and every single one of you. So even the people that just view and don't ever comment or like, I want you guys to know that I appreciate your time. I appreciate your interest. I appreciate your enthusiasm. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than thank you guys. But that's gonna do for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you have any more questions regarding BlizzCon, some of the changes, the next expansion, or you want me to just cover things regarding the next expansion, you can leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you guys right away. Try not to miss me on my YouTube live stream. We'll answer all of your guys' questions in depth. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.